The following tutorial is brought to you by WholeLoops.com.
It's production time. I'm Reid Stefan, realist puppet in the game. Today, we're flipping our raw guitar recordings into a saucy and disrespectful beat. The material that we're using as a sample was recorded directly from a guitar plugged straight into an Apollo, and it sounds like this. And this didn't use any of the plug-in preamps or guitar amps to make it sound better. This is just what you get when you plug a guitar directly into your interface and play it in. And honestly, the tone isn't particularly flattering right out of the gate, which is why we're going to use some sauce to make these things sparkle. But before we do that, I want to do a little bit of cleanup on these. And Ableton has the most amazing audio warping feature where you can just double click on your audio clip and hit Command-Shift-U to go to your warping menu. Okay, let's warp these to 16th notes 100%, and it detects where the plucks are in your guitar playing, and if it puts a flag where there isn't a pluck, you can just double click it and delete it, or if it missed one, you could just double click up here to add one in. But let's see what this did. That's enough for this piece. Let's go in and quantize this one. I'm just going to hit Command-U. And we don't even have to really do the fast notes. Let's just get the main ones on the beat, and I think we'll be good to go. And let's just fix this one right here. Boom. And then get rid of this. This is close enough to perfection. And a really cool thing that happens when you start time stretching your guitar in grid mode is it adds this crunchy, choppy thing, which if you're trying to really mess up your guitar loops fundamentally, will give you an effect without even having to put a plugin on it. Let's hit up our pluck too. Oh, I already did this one. Let's try doing the forwards only. I cleaned it up quite a bit. I'm going to keep this one on about 50. It really cleans up your plucks a lot. So if you're doing short and muted guitar playing, Beets forwards arrow is going to be your absolute best friend. Now that all of our guitars have been quantized, it's time for the sauce. We have a brand new guitar sauce plugin available at WholeLoops.com, made entirely of Ableton stock plugins, ready for you to just drop on your guitar playing to make it go from raw to sauce in an instant. Let's take a listen to the raw guitar and turn this on so you could hear the instant difference guitar sauce makes. And guitar sauce. So what we have is a sequence of Ableton plugins ready to go for you to drop on your raw guitars. And this was made specifically for guitars recorded directly into an audio interface that don't have any extra amplification or harmonics to help it feel saucy. The first knob we have is the gain, and this is actually the final amp gain on the plugin. So this is going to control how dry or distorted your guitar sounds. I really liked the clean tone in this, so I'm going to keep this around 3. I felt that that was really the sweet spot on this performance. Now we have 3 EQ knobs, lows, mids, and highs, and these can also be used as a filter. If you wanted to do a filtered guitar intro, you could roll off all the lows and highs. And then you can bring these back in for when the drums come in. Or you could just dial in the perfect balance of tone. I think right there would sound like a nice spot if I were to pick one setting and leave it there the whole time. I think that sounds perfect on this guitar recording. The next we have is a spring reverb, and this is emulating the reverb that comes inside of guitar amps. Really splattery. We also have a slap delay to add a lot of width to your mono guitar recordings. And a quarter note for some vibe. And this may not be the vibe for this guitar. It goes from feeling like an R&B song to a blues song just by taking out the long effects like the spring and the quarter note and just rocking the slap note. Hey. And then finally we have a tremolo control, which adds extra rhythmic flair. This is especially going to sound good on slow guitar playing. So let's try dropping this on the long notes, and let's dial in different settings for this part that comes in at the 9th measure. So I don't think I'm going to do the slap note so heavy on these high notes, but I am going to do the reverb heavy and the quarter note delay heavy and the tremolo heavy too. Hey. Let's copy this top one down onto our chords, and let's see what we can dial in on this one. Let's drop this sauce down onto our chords and see what we think sounds good here. And for our 4th layer of guitar, we're going to dial in yet another custom preset. I don't think I want so much spring, but I want a lot of slap on this one. And let's try a lot of mids too. Hey. Now those guitars are sounding saucy to me.
Are your 808s too respectful? Do your beats lack that organic thump? Maybe you should try Urban Beets 4, our freshest harvest of kicks, snares, percussions, and 808s. So disrespectful, you might get mad you didn't try them sooner. Urban Beets 4 is available now only at wholoops.com.
Now that we've got our samples sounding good, it's time to add some drums. So I'm going to hit up the brand new Urban Beets 4, also available at wholoops.com, and we're going to fill in some drums. To do my drums, I like to use Impulse as a shortcut because that allows me to put a lot of drum samples on the keyboard and play in a lot of ideas at a time. So let's go and try a kick. Put this one in here. And let's do a hand clap. Take the first one and let's find some closed hats that we like. Let's put these here. And I'm just gonna auto pan these like this and then maybe turn the volume down on these a little bit too. Let's see what we get. I like that last 2 bars. I'm going to keep that and just delete that random clap at the end. That was a mistake. Just quantize these. Engage the loop. Now let's put in a kick pattern now. And let's take our kicks. Let's get there to this one. I'm going to take the velocity on these and turn them up and then grab the offbeat ones, pull them back a little bit so we got a slightly harder kick on the downbeat. Make some hats. Hey, I think we just got to clean that up a little bit and we got ourselves a hi-hat pattern. We get our clean loop. Let's shrink these tracks a little bit so we can see everything better. Ooh, let's add this in there too. Hey. Maybe a little crash never hurt. And then let's echo this out. I made myself an audio effect rack with echo already in it because I always do the same thing with it. I find this to be so much quicker than grabbing the plugin and re-racking it up every time. Let's also turn this up and turn this down. Let's also transpose this up a little bit. Like, finally, it's time to add a disrespectful 808 to make this beat knock. Let's head over to Urban Beats 4 and check out the new disrespectful 808s. Hey. Oh my goodness. I like this one's pretty clean. We'll see. There's a lot of good options. We might have to swap one out and just try a couple things. Hey. Last two measures were hot, so I'm going to take them, Command E, Command A, Command U. Whoops, I forgot Command J. Turn our loop on. I think I'm going to add one more hat layer in here. I just want to record in some 8th note hi-hats real quick. So I want some 8th notes to come in when the other hats come in too. Because the other hat pattern is kind of start and stop, and the 8th note pattern is real steady. So it's nice to have some of both in there. Actually, let's try just having the second hat come in for the second half of the beat, make it feel more like a hook. And to sauce these hats up, I made this preset for the new delay plugin, and you just drop it on your hi-hats, and it's like the time shifter in the sampler in FL Studio where you can just make the signal come out later, but instead you would just turn this knob. Let's also put this on the other hats. And you can do a really cool effect by making these thin with this EQ. Or even do a really kind of ratchet doubled hi-hat effect. So now let's take a listen to our final beat. Yeah. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Woo. Hey. Well, there you have it. That is how to cook up guitar beats with ease using Ableton. If you want to check out Guitar Sauce or Urban Beats 4 for yourself, head over to wholeloops.com, and I'll catch you guys next time with another tutorial. Peace out.